Hey everybody, I'm back sooner than expected. I just ran across these recently, and I consider them like ignored gems. This is a done in one. This is mostly a done in one with a little bit of a subplot. Well, actually, a decent subplot, but you'll see what I mean in a minute. Like around this time, Captain Stacy, Peter Parker's girlfriend, died of. And Spider-Man took the blame. So, and that's been reprinted a lot, the death of Captain Stacy. And there's Gwen doing pretty much what Gwen did like 50% of the time in the comic, kind of cry or feel sad or blah, 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 blah. And then the other time she kind of, she was like a, I don't know what, like a dollar store Mary Jane. Now, I'm going to get a lot of shit for saying that, but I guess because I grew up with Mary Jane Watson around, about a year after Gwen died. But in my opinion, she really didn't have a lot of personality. She was more like a romance comic character, and that played to John Romita's strengths since he did romance comics for DC. But anyway, now that half of you have signed off, I want to share. I'll share this with my secret handful of friends. Okay, where do I put this? Okay, oh, here we go. All right, well, and also later on, this is like sandwiched between not only the death of Captain Stacy, but also for the 3-issue drug story that Stan was asked to do, and he went without the Comics Code Authority stamp on that issue. So everybody knows that, okay? I'm not going to flop around here. This is from the Epic Collection, and boy, oh boy, Epic Collections are so great. So now, thanks to the Epic Collections, I've got pretty much, I don't know, Spider-Man all the way up to, I don't know, the end of the Ron Friends, Tom DeFalco era, which is quite a bit. And they're just sensational. So, this cover's from issue 99 where he goes to Britain. So, anyway, I first had this. I wish I could find the regular comic. I know I have it, with the pulp paper and stuff like that, kind of ratty. Because I don't mind this because my eyes sometimes need a little bit of a goose. I don't know, that ain't appropriate. They need a little bit of help, okay? Like at nighttime mostly. So it's easier to read these, but I do like the pulp paper. I prefer it because I find it to be more forgiving as far as if you get an inker or somebody that isn't as strong, it kind of it makes it more palatable. All right, enough of this bullshit. So I had this comic, God, a long time ago, before I was really a hardcore collector, and it was coverless. The issue I had was coverless, and those were always cool because it was such a mystery. What was the cover like? And you wouldn't find out for years because we're talking the 70s, no internet stuff. So she's upset because it's right there. I love the white streaks that they put through they did that a lot, and newspapers. I don't know why, but it was pretty cool. Maybe to imply that I don't know what am I talking about. So there's Gwendolyn, and look at those lines on her hair. Well, her uncle is calling from Uncle Arthur in London. We're so sorry, Uncle Arthur. And she said, oh, come on, no bloody family. This is what George would want. And she's thinking about it, and she got a call from London, she says, to Pete, and I want to go there and live with them. You want to? I have to, Pete. There's nothing to keep me here. So he gives her a classic John Romita kiss. I want you to stay. My love for you is even stronger than my hatred for Spider-Man. Okay, I haven't the right, I can't ask you to stay here with me. Can't, of course you can. What you mean is you won't. I totally dig that shirt. I think it would work out good today. And this is like 1971 or 70, I don't know. But in the pulp, when I got the comic by, like I said, a single issue, the pulp paper and the ads just created so much more drama on the actual panels of the story. And, Pete kind of blows the stack, and it's like, he hates Spider-Man, but he's going to change anyway. And he says, but I'm trapped. I can no longer stop being Spider-Man, then I can't stop breathing. So I need the excitement and the action and the danger. What's really cool is this page, there's no, well, except for... Oh, actually, no. There's no exposition that explains what's going on. It's like, I must crawl up here. I must shoot my web. I must swing. It's all dialogue. I mean, like, towards the end of Stan's writing career, he really trimmed the fat and may have been time saver, or maybe the characters had been around so many years that he kind of knew what readers would expect. And also there was a Spider-Man cartoon show from 1968 that was pretty popular, so that increased the image of Spider-Man. So meanwhile, Hobie Robertson, who is the nephew of Robbie Robertson, he is looking at the newspaper, and his girlfriend's talking about, Mindy is talking about, looking for a home when they get married. But he's something I gotta do. So he walks out, and that's a great angle. Well, that's great for a brownstone. And again, you're not really being told what to do, or what you're looking at. And then, but however, he does a flashback, which actually reads very realistic. He's going through shit in his head as far as he had to impersonate Spider-Man, and he was the Prowler in one of the early, I don't know, like a year or two prior, and so he used his own claws that the Prowler used, he as the Prowler used to climb buildings. So, and he was asked to do this favor, like showing up as Spider-Man while Pete was there, and it's a long story, so I love that costume. What's funny is I'm wondering if John Romita had a say in the coloring of it, because at the time, all villains, in quotes, he dressed them in purple and green all the time. And the Beetle, the Green Goblin, just like so many characters. But either way, this is not exactly a purple. It's more like, I don't know what. It's between blue and purple, but it looks great. So he decides he's gonna, his own conscience, he wants to bring Spider-Man the justice, because he feels, thinking it through, he feels like maybe he was used. And I just love this. I mean, I fell in love with the Prowler right away, And again, Marvel is way ahead of DC as far as showing African Americans. I mean, it went back to Gabe Jones from Sergeant Fury #1 in 1963 or so, and DC took a while to catch up on that stuff. I don't think it was until Neil Adams and Denny O'Neill's issues that they covered those issues. So he's like, I can't get Gwendy out of my mind. I'm hanging. He's hanging. Listen to me. He's just like, look at me. I'm a masked fugitive, trapped by my own identity. Okay, I've had it. At last, I know what to do. So he's doing a little. It's a little exposition, but not really. He's saying, I've got to level with Gwen. I've got to tell her who I am. And I just remember, like, again, on pulp paper, this had a real eerie, dark quality to it. So he takes a peek at her, and Prowler says, first you killed her father, now you're after the girl. Not if the Prowler can help it. And he's standing there in almost disbelief. Here, Gwen sees him, and she's very upset, and Prowler, beautiful stuff. This is pure Romita. I mean, I know he's done stuff in the past, and he was also working production, so to have him do a full issue around this time was pretty rare, because Gil Kane did a lot of the heavy lifting, but they made a beautiful pair. So he's like, you got it all wrong, Hobie. I was trying to save you. You gotta believe me. So long as you're wanted by the Fuzz, I'm out to get you, especially since you tricked me into helping you this time. It wasn't a trick. Let me explain. So, but Hobie's persistent, and again, Stan is trimming the fat. Now, this really knocked me out. Even when I was a kid, it's a beautiful night scene. I mean, it's not all black. That's okay. So, it's got a deep purple. Maybe it's, it's blue here, but maybe it's getting dusk. I love his sway and the shadow. I mean, it's hard to impress upon cynical readers of the last 20, 30 years that how something like that really was, I don't know, it was special. It was really great. And it provided just a great atmosphere because you're following this, you're going to him, and then you're going to this guy, again, another African-American. And they weren't, DC, Marvel was just really good at they knew there were more than just white people out there. So this is an amazing page. I would love to own either of these. But, so now this one's a little bit like, not when I can throw us through the skylight. And I love that. And then he goes, hey, I kicked too hard, loosened my claw hold. So that's a little bit exposition. He falls down, the skylight, whatever it is, it looks like an elevator. And he gets back up. He manages to slow the fall just enough. And he gets Hobie and burns the rest of his costume so he won't be incriminated. And there he's swinging away, and he puts him in a hospital. He sneaks him in a hospital bed, and they don't even know how he got there. He couldn't have walked here alone. And yet, then Mindy shows up, and she's going to take care of him. I stuck by you no matter what. And he's like, I just can't let Gwendy go. This time I won't. What's this? Someone else is in her apartment unpacking. It can't mean... I'm looking for Gwen Stacy. Where is she? Where did she go? Oh, boys, outside my window. Hold on. I don't mean any harm. She says, just tell me where she went. The airport. Honest. I'll get back to this in a minute. But he's flying. He's just really jetting his way to the jets. He changes. Look at the urgency here. If you had no dialogue or anything, that's great there. And he's lost her. Now again, even though I didn't know what was going on, that could almost be an ending to the book. I mean, because you might say maybe she never showed up again. Well, we know otherwise. But here's the funny thing. I gotta go back now. Yeah, this is it's a little wonky time-wise. The timeline's weird. Gwen's in the apartment. He dodges that blast from the Prowler. And you pretty much get a regular timeline. Like, things are happening. He crashes through, gets Hobie in the hospital, and he heads back. And he's basically gonna... we're talking like maybe an hour or two tops. Let's just say this is like the truncated version of what went on. But there's a new tenant already. How did Gwen move out and this woman, more like a half hour? That's just absurd. So that was a big kind of a blunder. But it's good. It's good writing nonetheless. I only realized that recently, because when I read this book a billion times, I didn't question it, but it's very dramatic. Okay, now, another hidden gem that I do have in original form is Peter Parker's Spectacular Spider-Man, Waiting for Dr. Octopus. This is similar to when Steve Ditko did the first Spider-Man annual, and he gave a full page spread for Dr. Octopus plus the rest of the Sinister Six. This is a painted cover. Now, we're talking 1980 or 81, okay? And again, you're probably going to tell me, Drew, shut the hell up. But a painted cover was also rare. And Ed Hannigan did this. He was doing a lot of Will Eisner type logos that were, where the logo was integrated into the rest of the imagery. So that's just beautiful. And he had. Okay, now this I think you'll find interesting. It's a single issue that beginning and end. Ed Hannigan is clearly he's channeling both Frank Miller and Steve Ditko. You'll find Ditko later, but Doc Ock gets a newspaper. There we go. Ed Hannigan magic. Bill Mantlo writing. It's just incredible. Ooh, backgrounds by Rick Magyar. I know him from the CrossGen days. He's magnificent. He's a great he's a great artist in general. But now here's some of that Ditko-esque type poses. And it's that New Guy Moon Knight. What I like is it's sort of like it's like a promo, but there's no footnote telling you, oh, catches adventures every month at Moonlight. So, really, really cool. He goes, no one's out tonight except that crazy artist drawing water towers. And that's supposed to be Frank Miller, which is fun. So you have these kids hanging out and they're cosplaying as supervillains. I told you at the start that this whole idea of a fan club dedicated to supervillains was screwy. But the thing is, Dr. Octopus cosplayer who has working arms, he basically, he says, I've had enough of, basically Ollie's rich, they're loaded and they let him spend as much as he wants, so they wouldn't have those costumes. But really, really fun stuff here. I mean, the whole book is fun. I've read this countlessly, and see, there he is. He's just this like, roundish kind of kid who's kind of, he's a fan, and that's okay. He's just having a, and also, he's a little heavy, like I am now. And Doc Ock was never, I mean, rarely he was in, tip-top shape. He was always drawn kind of, because he was a scientist, you're not going to work out with weights if you've got these tentacles and other stuff to do. Excuse me. Woo, Lee. I should have hit the cough button. So, he goes, you may insult me, but you may not insult Dr. Octopus. Get out of here, fools. You'll be sorry you rejected me. He goes, I don't need you guys. I don't need anyone at all. Sob. Check out the TIE fighter there. And I think, if Marvel didn't buy Star Wars, they could still reprint that. There's like this rule of one panel. Like Rob Space Knight showed up on the cover of Avengers in just one image, and it got reprinted. And so he's upset. He takes off. And there's Elektra. Wait. Denny Colt. And who am that? I don't know. Anyway, really great stuff. So, a bit of a Ditko kind of pose there. And he's been robbed. His apartment's been robbed. So he's going to raise a lot of hell. Okay. Great stuff. I've got that. Excuse me.